Hello, my name is Ryan Melville. I'm a councillor at large here in the city of Peabody. I want to talk to you a little bit about my background, what I've done on the council, and what I plan to do if I'm re-elected. I was born and raised here in the city of Peabody. I graduated from Peabody High School in 2004, and in 2004 I also got the O'Keefe Scholarship to UMass Amherst, which is a scholarship annually given to a Peabody High student that gives a 4-year full academic scholarship. While at UMass, I joined the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and I ultimately served in Afghanistan in 2010-2011 as an infantryman. When I returned home, I started working for the Mass State Treasurer's Office as the director of the Welcome Home Bonus Program. This gave me an opportunity to work with veterans throughout the Commonwealth and veteran service officers throughout the Commonwealth. Currently, I'm the director of licensing for the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission. This gives me a chance to work with cities and towns throughout the Commonwealth and kind of pick up good ideas that I see and try to bring them back to Peabody. Now I'd like to talk to you about what I'm proud to have been involved in my last year and a half on the council. First, I was proud to support the largest infrastructure upgrade to our water in recent memory. We've done a $35 million project to upgrade not only the Winona water treatment plant, but increase water pressure throughout the city of Peabody, also ensuring the cleanest, best water gets to our residents. This is all based off of what we experienced after the Coolidge water plant fire in 2017, which ultimately gave us experience in dealing with the Mass Water Resource Authority and their higher rates of cost for water. This project is going to give the city of Peabody the ability to utilize our most precious resource, which is our clean, fresh water supply. I think it's a great thing for Peabody and its future. I'm also happy to be working on the Welch School Building Committee. This upgrade to the Welch School's windows and HVAC system will be great for the city and great for the Welch School. It's got conditional approval from the Mass School Building Authority, and the city of Peabody is looking to be reimbursed 55% of the cost. This will be great for that building going forward and for the students that go there. I'm also proud to have worked on the Veteran Volunteer Tax Abatement Program. This program came from a need from veterans who came to us and talked about issues that elderly and disabled veterans were having a hard time going to their doctor's appointments in the Bedford VA, the West Roxbury VA, and the Jamaica Plain VA. I know this is a problem because I go to those same VA clinics and I deal with the same traffic and difficult transportation process of getting there. We were able to come up with a great way of getting veterans to volunteer to drive fellow veterans to these appointments. The veterans that are volunteering will then see an abatement on their taxes based on the amount of hours that they work. This essentially is only reimbursing them for the cost of actually participating in this program, and whether it be lunches or gas costs of getting their fellow veterans to their appointments. It's a great program and a great example of city officials, both of the administration and all my fellow councilors, for supporting this. If re-elected, I will continue to focus on major infrastructure upgrades that need to occur. This is really talking about our roads. Right now we're seeing, one of the major things I get from residents when I go and talk to them is that they think that our roads are in tough shape. I don't disagree. Much of the city of Peabody was built around the same time, so clearly a lot of the roads are going to have issues around the same time. And I think that this is something we're going to have to focus on in the future. I think balancing the cost of these upgrades and actually taking on the issues that need to be done is going to be a major question for us moving forward. And I want to see the city of Peabody have the infrastructure that every resident deserves. I also hear a lot about overdevelopment in the city of Peabody, and I think it's time that we really take a hard look at it. I think the housing overlays district that we put into place in this last term is a great way to set the ground rules to ensure developers don't set the rules for us, but we set the rules for the developers. I also was proud to support, to vote against a developer's plan to remove affordability requirements for subdevelopments in neighborhoods. This ultimately would remove any affordable houses that were going to be built. I was proud to vote against that, and my fellow councilors were with me on that. I'd also like to talk about the Peabody Senior Center, one of the great places and projects that we have going on in the city of Peabody. When I got elected, I said I wanted to be around people I didn't necessarily know before I was involved in the city of Peabody as a councilor. So I went to the Peabody Senior Center. It gave me an opportunity to be around senior citizens in the city of Peabody to hear their issues, their concerns. I got to tell you, the Peabody Senior Center is something we should all be proud of. They're doing great work down there. They're helping people, increasing the quality of life for many folks down there. And I think it's a place that we're going to start seeing strains on because of the rising population of seniors in the city of Peabody. So I'd like to make sure we can see what we can do to help them out, especially since half their budget is funded through private sources. So it's a great deal of expanding a dollar down there at the Peabody Senior Center, and they deserve our support. I also wanted to talk about the quality of life issues that I get calls on pretty consistently, whether that be sanitary issues and rodent infestations. We've come up with an ordinance that's going to start being enforced based on the ordinance that we put together to help fight those particular infestation issues. I also have heard from a lot of residents regarding traffic and other noise issues that come from special permits and businesses around. I will continue to focus on the conditions that we put on special permits when we do approve a special permit to ensure that the neighbors and the businesses that are already there that anchor that neighborhood are not impacted. And most of all, I will be ready to support you, the residents of the city of Peabody. It's not easy being a city councilor. We come across a lot of challenges, and we try to do our best. But the residents of the city of Peabody are consistently there supporting me and giving me the great information I need to do my job. We have some great programs in the city of Peabody. We have safe and maintained walking paths. We have a cleaned up Crystal Lake, and we got some great things coming down the pike for the Browns Pond. We have a top-notch municipal golf course. If you haven't played there, I highly suggest it. We have a great restaurant scene that's emerging. We have fantastic organizations like the Peabody Historical Society, the Garden Club, the YMCA, wonderful youth sports programs, numerous charitable organizations that you can either work with and volunteer to, or that are there for you when you have your hardest times. I could go on and on. I will continue to be there to support this great city and those programs. 2 years ago, I ran on a promise. Today, I'm running on my record. If you need, and you've ever contacted me, I got back to you. I will strive to always be prepared and ready to serve you. And I'd like to thank you for that opportunity. I'd also like to thank my wife, who oftentimes I'm not around for dinner or not around until late in the evening because of meetings or neighborhood issues. And I'd also like to thank my mother and sister who've been with me since I've decided to run for the council and be on the council from the start. And lastly, again, I want to thank you, the residents of the city of Peabody. And I'd like to ask for one of your 5 votes on November 5th, Election Day. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to continuing to serve this community.
Hi, neighbors. My name is Tom Rosignol, and I am a current councilor at large. I am up for re-election, and I ask for your support on November 5th, and I'm 6th on the ballot. Just a little bit about myself. I am a lifelong Peabody resident. I am 4th generation Peabody, as a matter of fact. I grew up on Bartholomew Street, skating on Browns Pond, and going to the old Brown School. Graduated from Peabody High, class of 1988. Go Tanners. I got married in 1995 to my lovely wife, Robin Donlin, now Robin Rosignol. And we have 2 great kids. I have a 23-year-old daughter, Amanda, who's in graduate school at Salem State, and a 19-year-old daughter who's a freshman at Quinnipiac who just got accepted onto the softball team down there. I was on the school committee for 8 years. We accomplished a lot of great things while I was on the school board. Such things as building the brand new middle school, increasing and improving our curriculum, K-12, making our Chromebook adoption for both the middle school and the high school, just to highlight a few of my accomplishments while I was on the school board. Being on the city council for the past 2 years, I've enjoyed it immensely. We've gotten a lot of things accomplished while I've been on the city council. We have just spent $35 million to upgrade our water infrastructure. Now, what that's going to entail is basically being able to be self-sufficient on our own water source from the Winona plant as well as the Coolidge Ave plant, and we will not have to rely on MWRA, which is the Massachusetts Water Resource Association. So keeping things in-house, even though it's a pretty expensive project up front, it will end up saving us money in the long run, where we won't have to buy our water from the MWRA. The council is a great place with a lot of caring people that really want to do well for our city. And I think the biggest thing about government and about especially city politics is being able to be balanced. It's a balancing act between doing things and progressing our city, as well as maintaining what our city is. Our city is big in area, but it really has a small town feel, and we need to make sure we maintain that small town feel. I think one of the advantages I have is because I grew up here, I know what Peabody has always been, and that's just one big neighborhood, and we need to maintain that. I know we're adding a overlay district for residential workforce, and I think that that's appropriate, but as long as it's done the right way without interrupting our neighborhoods, I think that that's what's really important. So lastly, I'll just say, my name's Tom Rosignol. I humbly ask for your support on November 5th. I'm 6th on the ballot. I care deeply about the city that I grew up in, the city that I've raised my children in, the city that I care for deeply, and I ask for your support. Thank you very much.
Hello, Peabody. I'm Ann Manning Martin, and I've been fortunate enough to have been given the opportunity by you to serve the city my family has called home for 5 generations. Prior to my current position as Councillor at Large for the last 12 years, I served 8 years on the Peabody School Committee, where I successfully negotiated contracts, balanced budgets, and fought for important educational initiatives such as full-day kindergarten for all students. As a Councillor at Large, I have maintained that hard work ethic while advancing a call for the City Council meetings to be conducted in the most informed, open, and transparent manner as possible. Since elected to the City Council, I have acted to update the Council rules of procedure twice. First, to ensure that councilors get their agendas well in advance of our meetings in order for us to be as prepared as possible. And second, to ensure that no new business is conducted after 11 p.m. I believe the city is better served when its councilors are prepared and conducting the people's business at a reasonable hour when the public can participate in matters affecting them and their families. Prior to those rule changes, the council rules had not been updated since 1973. I've also taken action to update city council ordinances to reflect current state law, giving the city the necessary tools to collect from businesses who are in arrears on their taxes. Quality of life issues remain the heart and soul of my service to my constituents. I've been a strong advocate to protect neighborhoods from intrusive development, such as the one recently proposed at the old J.B. Thomas Hospital site, as well as I've been a fierce opponent of unsightly monstrosities such as billboards and cell phone towers looming over residents and threatening the fabric of neighborhoods and their quality of life. To address the opioid epidemic facing our communities, I hold an annual fundraiser to fight the disease of addiction and the damage it causes to individuals, their families, and our community. These funds have been donated directly to our first responders and to private nonprofit agencies throughout the city that are all collaborating to fight this battle. With the assistance of PVMHS administration and the generous contributions from citizens and local businesses, we have also created 2 public service scholarships for graduating seniors pursuing careers in public service. Affordable housing and keeping Peabody affordable to all residents is very important to me. After receiving calls from constituents at the Crown and Shield Apartments who feared the upcoming sale of that property would cost them their homes, I immediately brought that matter to the floor of the City Council, triggering collaborative city, state, and private stakeholders to come up with a solution where residents could keep their homes for another 40 years, and those 236 affordable units will now remain in our affordable housing stock as required by the state's 40B mandates for cities to provide affordable housing. In closing, with the turnover of the City Council we are experiencing in the next few years, to include the upcoming retirements of long-term City Clerk Tim Spanos and my colleague David Gravel, I believe my institutional knowledge is crucial in guiding the future City Council to make sound decisions and avoid the pitfalls associated with inexperience. I am a strong, independent voice on the Council, and I know that I work for you. I'm not afraid to ask questions or take a stand, and will continue to keep an eye on your hard-earned tax dollars. If you need me, please call me, and I will do my best to help you. Again, I am Ann Manning Martin, Councillor at Large. I'm number 3 on the ballot, and I humbly ask for your consideration for one of your 5 votes for Councillor at Large on Tuesday, November 5th. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jared Hockman. I'm a candidate for City Councilor at Large here in Peabody this upcoming November. Thank you for allowing me into your living rooms. Thank you for taking the time to get to know me a little bit better. Thank you to PATV for giving me the opportunity to provide this statement and get access to your living rooms. I currently serve on the school committee here in Peabody. I've been doing that for the last 10 years. It's been very fulfilling and worthwhile work. I enjoy it immensely. Some of the biggest accomplishments that we've had, and when I say we've had on the school committee, it's a collaborative effort. All good government that accomplishes goals and improves the quality of life for you, the citizens, is done through working with others. And I have an opportunity right now to serve on a school committee that is packed with talented and extremely caring people who work very, very hard at making improvements in our school district. But some of those accomplishments include clearly the building of the New Higgins Middle School, which is a state-of-the-art facility that our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders here in Peabody have the opportunity to go to. In addition to that, the Jim Rice fields that are adjacent to the Higgins Middle School now being used for the youth and adults all over the city in sports activities, which is great to see. We've also had multiple textbook adoptions, updating curriculum, and providing greater resources to special education students with a focus on keeping those students in particular within our district so that we can service them in a better way. In addition to serving on the school committee, some of my other civic activities include a time when I was on the Peabody Conservation Commission, where I served for about 4 years as a result of former Mayor Bonfanti appointing me to that commission. I currently sit on the Peabody Rotary Club. I'm a member, a board of directors member at the Peabody Education Foundation, where I work with a ton of great people, including Dave Gravel. And while I have this moment, I'd like to thank Dave for his 20+ years of service to the city of Peabody. I know he's going to continue to help everyone that he can, because that's the kind of guy that Dave is. In addition to sitting on the Peabody Education Foundation, I'm a board member at my temple, which is Temple Tefereth Shalom over on Lowell Street by the high school. I've been a board member there now for the 2nd time. I'm a member of the Peabody Main Streets Committee. I've been a member of that committee since it was the Peabody Downtown Action Team, which was formed by City Councilor Pete McGinn a long time ago. I'm a founding member of Peabody, Green Peabody, which I think has changed its name at this point. But those, in addition to those activities, I'm also president of Peabody Babe Ruth. I've been president of Peabody Babe Ruth Baseball for about 5 years now. About 4 years ago, Mike Smierzinski, our former city solicitor, asked me to take on a role in Babe Ruth at the state level. He asked me to take on a role as a District 1 commissioner for Eastern Massachusetts Babe Ruth, which I've done for the last 4 years, proudly and gladly. Eastern Mass Babe Ruth services baseball players from the age of 13 to 19 from Worcester all the way through the Cape and the Islands and up to the New Hampshire border, Cape Ann and so forth. Let me tell you a little bit about my family and my educational background. I'm the proud father of 3 daughters. My oldest girl, Emily, is a senior at Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, and she's going to college next year, which is exciting for our family. My middle daughter, Sadie, is a 7th grader at the Higgins Middle School, and our youngest daughter, Lainey, is a 5th grader at the Center School. All three of my children are wonderful and dynamic and the joy of my life. My educational background is that I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I went to public schools as a young guy in Brooklyn, public schools all the way through high school, and even a public college. I went to the State University of New York at Albany, which is when I left Brooklyn when I was 18, and I got a bachelor's degree from the State University of New York in Albany in political science with a minor in English. I then migrated east to Massachusetts to attend law school at Western New England College School of Law, where I got a Juris Doctorate in 1996, and then continued migrating east, opening up a law practice in 1996 in Revere, and I've had a continuous law practice in Revere since 1996 with the same law partner, Carmen Lepori. In addition to those activities, I want to say that by far the activity that I'm most proud of is being a co-founder and co-director of No Child Goes Hungry in Peabody. This is a program that was brought to me by Michelle Feld, who was one of the owners of Evans Flowers, and the idea of what students who receive free and reduced lunch during the week, what do they eat, or what food do they have available to them on weekends, was something I hadn't thought about. And Michelle brought the idea to me, and we did some research and found that there's actually a need in Peabody, a greater need than most of you at home probably think, for children who suffer from food insecurity each and every week. We started the program in the fall of 2017, and at that time we serviced 120 students in Peabody Public Schools. Today we service over 375 students in Peabody Public Schools. We provide a backpack full of food for kids to eat each and every weekend. We do this by filling backpacks with at least 2 proteins or 2 lunch items, 2 breakfast items, 2 pieces of fresh fruit, snacks, juice, and whatever else we can get donated so that we can fill those backpacks and then deliver them to public schools every Friday morning to be distributed by staff members to students that they've identified are in need of food. Something as basic as food. We have over 200 people whose hands touch our program each and every week, from the people that pick up food that we fill the backpacks with from the Greater Boston Food Bank and deliver it over to the Haven from Hunger, which is where we use space to fill the backpacks, to volunteers who fill backpacks every Thursday, to people who deliver the backpacks to each of the elementary schools here in Peabody, to staff members who actually hand a bag to the students that are in need of food. That's the kind of civic activity that I've provided with a whole host of other people for the last 3 years that I'd like to bring to the City Council. It's that example that I'd like to bring to the Council of collaborative work where we've reached out to community partners who've provided financial assistance with this program, including the Peabody Ed Foundation, the Peabody Rotary Club, the Peabody Lions Club, North Shore Bank, Macy's of the North Shore Mall, Gravock, and those are just to mention a few of the partners that we've developed over the years that we've run this program, in addition to the Leahy J.B. Thomas Foundation, which has been a tremendous partner of ours as well, Citizens Inn, Haven from Hunger, and the staff over there who've been nothing but supportive of the work that we've done, to the staff members within the school department who hand these bags out, to Evans Flowers and the drivers at Evans Flowers who've delivered backpacks to schools, to the Council on Aging and PATV, who've also provided volunteers and vehicles that allow us to transport bags filled with food to schools for kids to receive. We also get assistance from the Culinary Arts Program at the high school, who bake cookies for the recipients of our backpacks. We currently are partnering with the Community High School, who are providing service by delivering or bringing the backpacks from the second level on the Haven from Hunger to the vehicles that deliver the backpacks to school. It's that kind of collaboration and working together that I want to bring to the City Council. I have a desire to help people. I've always had a desire to help people. The only reason I'm running for a City Council seat is because I'd like to help improve the quality of life that you have. I'd like to bring some thoughts and ideas that I have that will relieve you of some of the tax burdens that homeowners and business owners have. I'd like to bring some thoughts and ideas that will work on congestion and traffic concerns around the city. But I also want to protect neighborhoods from overdevelopment. So those are some of the reasons that I'm putting my name on the ballot and asking you to consider me with one of the 5 votes that you have for Councillor at Large on November 5th. So please consider voting for me. My name is Jared Hockman. I'm number 5 on the ballot. Thank you for allowing me into your home.
My name is John Turco, and I'm seeking an at-large seat on the Peabody City Council. I was elected as the councilor from Ward 1 in 2015, and I still hold that position today. I am also the president of the Peabody City Council. I was born and raised in Revere, and I graduated from Malden Catholic High School in 1990 and went to Johnson & Wales University. My wife Kim and I chose to move to Peabody in 2000 to raise a family. I'm currently an airfield maintenance foreman for Massport at Logan Airport, where I've been employed since 1993. I am also a member of the Teamsters Union. My wife is currently a kindergarten paraprofessional at the Carroll School, where she's been employed for the last 4 years. We have 2 children, Alexandra and Isabella, aged 17 and 14. They are both students at Peabody High School. When I ran for council in Ward 1 in 2015, I did so with the thought that I could do more for my neighborhood. I run today with the thought that I can do more for the city of Peabody as a whole. I've worked hard over the last 4 years and earned a reputation as a responsive, hard-working, and effective city councilor. Whether you ask the residents of Browns Pond, Spring Pond, Bartholomew Pond, or Crestview Park, you will likely get the same answer. I'm responsive to every resident, and I work hard on their behalf. I will continue that work if I'm elected to an at-large seat. The job is simple in the sense that you need residents to feel confident in the fact that if they bring an issue to you, that they know you are working diligently on it. I've been asked why I chose to run for an at-large seat when I had the full confidence of the residents of Ward 1. Simply put, I don't believe any elected official should be comfortable or complacent in their position. We should challenge ourselves to do more every day. It was always irrelevant to me which part of Peabody you lived in. If I received a call from any resident, I would always be there to help. In that sense, the at-large seat is a natural direction for me to go. The major issues that face our city over the next decade are infrastructure, overdevelopment, and traffic. I've been able to work with the city over the last 4 years to have over 20 streets and 100 sidewalks repaired in Ward 1 alone. Since 2015, I've been able to help countless residents with sidewalk paving issues. I've advocated for the residents of Browns Pond and Spring Pond in an effort to have those areas put on a regular maintenance schedule, and I've been able to resolve quality of life issues at Cedar Pond caused by an unsightly billboard constructed prior to my election. One of my proudest moments was helping the residents of Farm Avenue have their homes connected to city sewage. This was the last street in Ward 1 still on septic, and the change was made at no cost to the taxpayers. I am also proud of my vote to dedicate $35 million to the water infrastructure improvement throughout Peabody and ultimately preventing us from dependency on the MWRA. Traffic is an issue throughout the Commonwealth, and in truth, there is no easy fix. Peabody's location at Route 1, 95, 128, and 114 is beneficial for our business community, but can be detrimental to our residents. We recently voted for the redevelopment of the Central Street corridor along with Wilson Square. I advocated for the redesign of the traffic lanes entering Goodwin Circle at Linfield Street, which would create a second dedicated lane to the on-ramp of Route 1 and 95. And fortunately, the state legislature has recently approved $10,000 for a traffic study for the Linfield Street area. These 3 projects alone, although not a complete fix of the problem, should greatly reduce traffic issues throughout Peabody. Lastly, but maybe most importantly, is the overdevelopment. I am of the opinion that in its current state, Peabody cannot handle any further development. We must first address the issues of infrastructure, traffic, school populations, and public transportation prior to approving any large-scale developments. Although I am cognizant of the housing issues faced by our state, I am comfortable with the cautious approach this council has taken with residential development. We have supported potential growth along the Route 1 corridor, therefore protecting neighborhoods while addressing the need for more affordable housing with a requirement of 20% in those areas. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected on November 5th, I will continue to advocate for all residents of Peabody, and I will continue to help resolve the issues that we face as a community. I'm proud to live in Peabody and enjoy all it has to offer. My family chose Peabody, and I ask that you choose me as one of your 5 at-large council choices on Tuesday, November 5th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John DeRosa Jr., and I'm running for Councillor at Large here in Peabody. I'm running for one of the 5 at-large seats here in the city. This is my first time running for an elected city position. I recently retired after 32 years of service to the city of Peabody from the Peabody Police Department, the last 10 as police captain. Prior to my retirement in May, I was in command of the Patrol Division and the Emergency Control Center, responsible for the day-to-day delivery of police services to our residents, visitors, and anyone that needed our services 24 hours a day. Over the years, I have served several capacities. I have planned major events, worked on budgets, represented the police department on city committees, testified before the city council, and have written city ordinances. And lastly, the most rewarding was working on some community policing initiatives. It was working on those initiatives that allowed me to be involved with the people and the neighborhoods, dealing with their concerns and quality of life issues. If elected, I will continue to work just as hard for our community, dealing with their quality of life needs and any issues that you may have. I have a lifetime of service to Peabody and have been fortunate to have had a successful career working here, and I deeply care about the city of Peabody and want to continue to serve you. I feel that it is this past experience serving our residents, working with city employees, city elected officials, that will allow me to bring a unique insight in decision-making on the city council. If you give me the opportunity to serve as your councillor at large, I will serve you with integrity, honesty, and be responsive to you. I will listen to your concerns and give you a voice on the city council. Peabody is a great place to live and raise a family, and I believe we are making positive changes to our city and moving our city forward. However, there are some issues, and my priorities will be that I will always be accessible and responsive to the residents of Peabody. I'll hold the line on taxes and prioritize where we do spend our tax dollars. I'll support responsible development to protect the quality of life in our neighborhoods and work to keep Peabody affordable for our seniors and continue to support our schools and young families. Please remember to vote on November 5th. I am number 1 on the ballot for Councillor at Large and would be honored to receive your vote. Thank you.